To Unity of Tucson. How are you feeling this glorious day? Magnificent. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here, and we're here to have a good time. That's what I like to do on a Sunday morning, have a good time. And so if you are able, feel free to move your body to the music as we open in song. Something great has happened, and love has taken hold, and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. We're drops in one ocean. Roll on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Whoa, whoa. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the voice of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment of our greatness. Let's stand together now. Let's stand together now. There's some lighting things happening. It was a very dramatic end. Very dramatic. Yeah. Whew. Welcome once again. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. As I said before, I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here, and I'm here on Sunday morning to have a good time. I'm here to celebrate this thing called life, love, light, harmony, peace, beauty, wisdom, all the attributes of the divine, which are all the attributes which we are, because we are part of this infinite wholeness. And so, how do you feel about celebrating that today? Glorious, glorious, glorious. Now, for the past few weeks, I've been doing this, and I think it's working out. If you would all take out your smartphones or your phones, if you don't have a smartphone, no one is judging you. And if you would please turn your ringers off. But please feel free to use your phones. I have no issue with people using phones during the service. You can take notes, you can take pictures, you can go on social media and post those pictures and let people know where the love is today. It's right here at Unity of Tucson, I think. So feel free to use your phones during the celebration today. Now here at Unity of Tucson, our purpose, the reason we exist here, is to provide a safe, loving, and inclusive space where all people can explore the principles of New Thought. New Thought is the philosophy that we teach here at Unity of Tucson. And those principles of New Thought, I think, as I have adopted them into my life, and I invite you to consider that this may be how you can utilize them in your life, those principles of New Thought can lead us to mastering spiritual understanding, finding personal purpose, and developing a spiritual path. So that's what we're here to do. And Sunday mornings, we celebrate all of that, and you get a little song and dance, because that's my background. If you're new to this community, welcome. It's I'm very high energy, and I do a song and a dance almost every week. Yes, and Lori's like, yes, he does. It is not meant to say that we don't take spiritual practice seriously. I do take my spiritual practice very seriously, but I like to be lighthearted and fun about life, because what's the point of having a hard life? I get to decide to be lighthearted and fun in life. Now, you may not believe everything you hear today. I say that every week as well. You may not believe everything you hear today, but I am not here to tell you what to believe or what to think. What are you saying to me? You didn't say a word, okay. Because normally, and she just said it, normally Laura says, I believe everything. She says she believes everything I say. One of these days, I'm going to have a good comeback for that, and you're going to probably have to question whether or not you believe it. But the reason I say that is because I'm not here to engage in dogma. Dogma is saying that you cannot question the doctrine. We have a doctrine here. We teach something here. Dogma is when doctrine turns into it can't be questioned, right? And so I encourage you to really look in your heart if something does butt up against your belief system here today, and say, hey, this is a challenge for me. And is this something that I would like to adopt in my life, or is it something I would like to not adopt into my life? And you know what the great news is? You're at choice. You are at choice to believe, to think, and to feel what you believe, think, and feel. And I'm not going to tell you what that is. So the words that I usually will never say are, we believe. I'll say, I believe, and I will say, we teach, but I will never, ever assume what you believe. So let's celebrate that today. Yeah. We do have a vision and a mission here at Unity of Tucson, and I would love for us as a community to say out loud first these words of our vision statement. Let's say this together. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. And check in. Is that a vision that you can believe in? It's up to you. Now, the vision is a way that we can choose to see the world. The mission are steps that we can engage in to allow that world to come into expression. So let's share together these words of our mission statement. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. For me, adopting those actions in my life, when I love only, when I forgive everything, and when I remember who I am empowered into a greater experience and expression of my own life. And what I also find is that it becomes reflected in everything around me. And that's a wonderful thing. If you're joining us for the first time today, Let me first acknowledge and say hello to anyone who may be joining us online for the first time today. It's always a delight to have our online virtual streaming audience, community. I shouldn't say audience, your community. And it is great. I'm grateful to know that your community is part of this community, and we are sharing in this time together, whether you're watching live or on the video archive at another time. If you go to unitytucson.com/connect, you can fill out some information there, and we will continue to keep this conversation going. And thank you once again for joining us. Now, if you're here in the room for the first time today, you may have been invited to receive a gift as you were coming in. If you did not receive that gift and you're joining us for the first time, you can receive that gift at the completion of the celebration today out at the welcome table. But there's something that we would like to share with you in addition to that physical gift. So if you are comfortable with identifying yourself as someone who is joining us for the first time, would you either raise your hand or stand up? Is there anyone who's joining us for the first time today? Welcome, grateful to have you here. Such a delight to have you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And here's what it is that we would like to share with you. Shall we let them know? All right, here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. And so grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence, and that you're shining and sharing with us here today. Now, I think that we should all acknowledge our own sense of magnificence. And let's say these words together, this entire community. And I'm going to say this again. Even if you're online and you're at Starbucks and you're watching our service at Starbucks, I encourage you to say this out loud. And don't worry if anybody looks at you funny. Shall we say this together? I am magnificent. Yes, one more time. I am magnificent. Glorious. I love to hear that magnificent enthusiasm. One of the tenets that we offer here is an understanding, and a part of the teaching is that all faith traditions, all religious paths, all spiritual ideas, what we teach is that they're all born from one root. That root, I think, is love. And so we celebrate all paths here through a ceremony that we've adopted called Lighting the Flames of Faith. And it is guided every week by some of our keepers of the flames. This week's keepers of the flames are Mary Alls and Laura Cass. If you would please welcome them.
We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. The final candle is the healing candle. It represents the revealing of the divinity at the core of all experience. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Mary. This candle here is the peace candle, which we do keep consistently illuminated. I said on my video this week, if you come here during the week and you walk through and you look in, this candle is always lit, 24 hours a day. And we do that because we choose to understand this candle as a representation of the consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts. And as we allow our inner peace to inform our thoughts and intentions, our deeds and relationships and actions, as we allow our inner peace to inform every aspect of our life experience, then right where each and every one of us is, we become a beacon of and an expression of peace, and we achieve world peace that way. So let's allow ourselves to step into that understanding and share together this prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace reigns in the world. Making his way up to the platform is one of our magnificent spiritual leaders in this community. This is Reverend William Gill, and he is going to be offering today our reading, guiding us in our new monthly affirmation, and also guiding us in prayer. Please welcome Reverend William Gill.
Good morning. Even more than the material being that you have come to know as you are a vibrational being. When someone looks at you, they see you with their eyes and hear you with their ears, but you are presenting yourself to them and to the universe in a much more emphatic way that can be seen or heard. You are a vibrational transmitter, and you are broadcasting your signal in every moment of your existence. As you are focused in this physical body, and while you are awake, you are constantly projecting a very specific, easily identifiable signal that is instantly received, understood, and answered. Immediately, your present and future circumstances begin to change in response to the signal that you are offering now. And so, the entire universe right now is affected by what you are offering. Your world, present and future, is directly and specifically affected by the signal that you are now transmitting. The personality that is you is really an eternal personality, but who you are right now and what you are thinking right now is causing a focusing of energy that is very powerful. This energy that you're focusing is the same energy that creates worlds. And it is, in this very moment, creating your world. Those words came from the book, Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires, by Esther and Jerry Hicks, also known as the Teachings of Abraham. At our center, we have a monthly theme, a monthly word, and this month, the theme is harmony. The dictionary that comes with my computer defines harmony as the quality of forming a pleasing and consistent whole. We also have a monthly affirmation, and this month's affirmation was written by the Reverend Sue Oliver. I will say the affirmation once by myself. We'll let it sink in for a moment, and then we will repeat it twice. Every aspect of my life vibrates in divine harmony. Together, every aspect of my life vibrates in divine harmony. Once again, every aspect of my life vibrates in divine harmony.
Rolling river god, little stones are smooth, only once the water passes through. So I am a stone, rough and grainy still, trying to reconcile this river's chill. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hand. Sometimes raging wild, sometimes swollen high. Never have I known this river dry. The deepest part of you is where I want to stay and feel the sharpest edges washed away.
And so I close my eyes and I am present in the now moment. I pour myself, my joy, my love, my presence in everything I do, everything there is. Thank you, Spirit, for you are in me, through me, around me, as I create the world of my dreams through my presence, my joy, my love, and the company of Spirit. Thank you, God. And so it is, now and always. Amen.
But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, up and notice that I am. Just a little smoother in your hand, rolling river God. Little stones are smooth only once the water passes through. Linda reminded me that that was the second song I ever sang here. I love that song. Each week we do what we call the featured song of the day, and we oftentimes bring in a guest artist to sing that. But once a month, I get to present the featured song, and today is my opportunity to present the featured song. This is one of my favorite songs that was written by Daniel Nahmod. There was a day, I remember it well, when I could always tell what was right for me. Such a day, not so long ago, when I would always know I was safe as can be. I'm going back to that very first day. There was a day before my faith hit the ground, before the shame came around, before the walls came down. Such a day, I might have been just a child, but boy, I knew how to smile more than once in a while. I'm going back to that very first day. I'm going back to that very first day, 'cause on that day, I was at peace. I did everything with the greatest of ease. On that day, I knew joy. All the world was a bright blue baby's toy. I'm going back to that very first day. There was a day before the anger ruled, before the guns in school, before the wars for fuel. Such a day when children danced in the street, when all had plenty to eat, when every soul was free. We're going back to that very first day. We're going back to that very first day, 'cause on that day, we were at peace. We did everything with the greatest of ease. On that day, we knew joy. All the world was a bright blue baby's toy. We're going back to that very first day. It doesn't need to be so hard to live this life. We haven't strayed so far, our souls just wait for us to decide. On that day, we'll be at peace. We'll do everything with the greatest of ease. On that day, we'll know joy. All the world will be a bright blue baby's toy. On that day, we will know love. All that we've ever been will be more than enough. On that day, we'll know joy. All the world will be a bright blue baby's toy. We're going back to that very first day. We're going back to that very first day. Let's go back to that very first day. Thank you. There's a lyric, and so in the structure of music, oftentimes, one of the most important messages of the song comes through the lyric that's sung in the portion of the song that we call the bridge. If you don't know musical structure, that's not going to mean anything to you, so I'm going to tell you what the lyrics of the bridge are. The lyrics go like this: it doesn't need to be so hard to live this life. We haven't strayed so far. Our souls just wait for us to decide. For me, that is the whole message of the song. It doesn't need to be so hard to live this life. Oh, I sometimes need to hear that. But what makes it hard? Well, ultimately what makes it hard is a decision for it to be hard. And so what are we waiting for? We're waiting for our souls to decide that it is no longer hard, that life is no longer toil. What are our souls waiting for us to decide? I think that perhaps what they're waiting for us to decide is this: remember who you are. Remember who you are. You know, part of the doctrine that we teach here is encapsulated in that part of our mission statement. Remember who you are. Well, to remember who you are, first of all, we must define who you are and then remember it consistently. So who are you? The who are you in the question of who are you is you are the infinite power and presence of divine creative source energy. We sometimes call that God. So I will stand up here firmly and say, you are God. And I've made logical sense out of this because if God is infinite, and that's what we teach, and that's really what most traditions teach, God is infinite. Well, there can be nothing separate from the infinite. We are not separate from the infinite, so the wholeness of us must be the power and presence of the divine spirit. That's what I think. How about you? Yeah. But how many of us struggle to remember who we are? And in that struggle, what ends up happening, I think, is we forget to love ourselves. We forget to love ourselves. How many of us struggle, first of all, with loving ourselves just as we are? Not with who we think we should be at some point down the line, but with loving ourselves just as we are. I can look to things still in my life and I go, I don't really like that part of myself. But that's not going to define the love I feel for myself. Once upon a time, it used to, because I used to define myself and determine that I was worthy of love because of all of the exterior circumstances. No more. I will not do that anymore. So how many of us struggle with loving ourselves just as we are? And then I have to ask this question: was it always that way? Was it always that way? When did we learn? When did we learn to stop loving ourselves just as we are? Well, I think about this song, and it's an invitation to remember that, really as children, we didn't know anything different. We didn't appear on this plane of action. I was going to be a little more graphic than that. I promise I won't do that. We did not appear on this plane of action. I see people going, oh! We did not appear on this plane of action beating ourselves up. We didn't. So what happened? When did we decide it was appropriate to start beating ourselves up? Take a moment, just take a breath, and think back to that childlike nature that is still part of you, that was so easy to express when we were like that. What were you like as a child? What were you like as a child? I'm so grateful that you brought up the construct of vibration today, because I've asked myself, what was that initial vibration? What was my initial vibration as I made my appearance in this thing called life? I have a very strong recollection that my days were quite carefree. And as I grew and started becoming aware of the world and the surroundings and started developing relationships and understanding the nature of life as a child, it was a very carefree experience. I had a perception of ease. Life was easy. at that time in my life. Life was just easy. I mean, granted, parents are taking care of you, so there's a lot you don't have to worry about, like mortgages and bills and working and all of that stuff. I get that. And I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to my parents, to my father especially, for the manner in which he raised me to allow me to have a life of ease. And I say that, because many of you know he's actually in the room. I'm not going to point him out, but I don't say that just because he's in the room, because I really do feel that. I was afforded a very, very wonderful experience as a child growing up. And then I asked myself, was there a point where I bought into the idea or the notion that life was hard? I don't know when that was, but I did buy into that at some point. I bought into the notion that the greatest benefits of life always follow challenge. I bought into the idea that through struggle, I could prove my value to the world. And what did I leave behind in order to buy into those ideas? Because the minute I bought into those ideas, I call those ideas our form of sin in New Thought, which means self-inflicted nonsense. It's what it is. I didn't coin that. I will be very clear. I didn't coin that, but I've bought into it because, I don't buy into it, but I buy into the idea that that's all sin is. It is self-inflicted nonsense. It's ideas, it is thoughts, it is beliefs that I adopted into my experience that have invited me into struggle in my life. And the moment I decide to let go of those things, the moment I let go of that error thinking, the more I let go of those error beliefs, the more I am empowered into the high quality of life I would like to live. And I do that, I practice that, I do that, I engage in that every single day. And there's no destination. There's only this moment now where I get to decide that my life is a life of value. Right here, right now. One of the things that I think has led me down the road of thinking that life has to be a struggle is that at some point I think I left the idea of wonder behind. That, oh my gosh, I forgot that life itself is a wonderful thing. I forgot to look upon the expression of God in all facets with the eyes of awe, with the eyes of wonder. A life without wonder really seems out of harmony to me. And so I found more harmonious possibility by adopting and remembering that I can choose to see through the eyes of wonder, just like children do. Children do this naturally. And like I said, at some point, they stop. They stop. When we lose that wonder, when we lose that sense of wonder, when we lose it, I think that the question then becomes, how do we find ways to regain it? Well, one of the ways that I have found is I engage in spiritual practice. I engage in spiritual community. I have allowed spiritual doings to be my spiritual beingness, to allow myself to engage in this thing called life actively, no matter what. And I choose, and this is a choice, I choose to look upon the faces of every single person I encounter through the eyes of wonder. It's a practice to do that. I choose not to look at people through the eyes of distrust. That's a choice. And that is a manner in which I have enhanced the quality of my life experience. So I talked about this a few weeks ago. When I was a kid, I used to play dress up. And we used to put on shows in my yard,
right? Me and my sister. And this is certainly a precursor to my former career in theater. I mean, I was a theater professional before I became a minister. So my sister and I would put on shows. We would mainly lip sync performances. We would sell tickets to the neighborhood kids and parents. Whoever would buy a ticket, they would come, and we didn't charge that much. I think we only charged like 50 cents a seat. That's a deal. Even in the 1980s, that's a deal. I look back sometimes at that carefree life with great admiration for who that person was. And there's a little bit of grief in me sometimes that I feel I've lost that person in my own heart. But I don't have to allow that person to remain lost. I can bring that person to the forefront because that person has never left me. What can you look to in your childhood? Just take a moment. What can you look to in your childhood that brings you thoughts of great joy? Just take a moment to bring one thing to mind. What is one thing in your childhood that brings you thoughts of great joy? And how can you adopt and reclaim that joy right now? Right in this moment. We live in a society that offers many, many, many ways, many opportunities for us to reconsider the life that we are living. We're met with information all the time, and all the information we receive are opportunities to reconsider the life that we are living. We live in a world where we allow ourselves to be subjects to the opinions and decisions of others. We can easily lose sight of our truth, and we begin to diminish ourselves in that frame of mind. Our only responsibility in this life, I believe, is to show up authentically. To show up authentically. And what that means for me is to allow ourselves to not be afraid of what other people think about us. That can be really challenging, can't it? Because in particular, I belong to a particular community that gets a lot of flack in the public sphere. And I put up with it a lot. I put up with it. You know what? I thrive through it because I don't allow those things to inform who I am. That's what it is to show up authentically. Because truly what I think is our authentic selves are solely rooted in one thing and one thing only. I bet you can guess what I'm going to say. That thing is love. That's love. That's it. If we are living authentically, our authentic selves are solely rooted in and as love. Our core expression is love. Full stop, period, end of sentence. That's what all the mystics of the ages have invited us into understanding. And what is it going to take for us to finally allow ourselves to step into that understanding to such a degree that we no longer doubt it, no matter what? And so it is. Amen. I mean, here's the thing. We are led astray, and we limit that love when the approval of others begins to outweigh our own self-approval. When we begin to believe what other people are telling us about ourselves, whether it be good or bad, we are opening ourselves up to be led astray. We are allowing ourselves to be led away from our authenticity for this purpose, because we want to fit in. Well, you've heard me say something about fitting in before. None of us should fit in when we were born to stand out. Every single one of us is a unique individualization of the infinite wholeness. Unique, individualized. There is no reason we should try to be like anybody else. Be you. Because you are beautiful. You know, in many ways, I can find myself on the fringes. I can find myself on the fringes, right? And I can be out there looking in. And then if I'm on the fringes and I'm observing everybody else, well, then I talked about it last week. That's when the inner saboteur begins to loop in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to diminish myself. I'm going to diminish myself because why? Stop it. You are good enough, you are smart enough, you are seasoned enough to live the most magnificent life, and begin to adopt that as your frame of reference. No longer tell yourself that you are not good enough. No longer tell yourself that you are not smart enough. No longer tell yourself that you are not seasoned enough. You must make the decision. You must make the decision. I am imploring you to make the decision to live according to your sense of magnificence. We say it every Sunday, I am magnificent, but are you really living that principle? Most days. That's the answer I heard from one person, most days. Good for you. I mean, who decided that there needed to be any sort of specific expression of my life to make me worthy? Here's one thing that happens when you let that inner saboteur hold stock in your mind. Here's what happens. The circumstances, the experiences, and the expressions of your world show up in support of that frame of mind. Oh, I'm done with that. If I'm telling myself that I am not good enough, everything in my life will prove it to me. If I tell myself I am not smart enough, I will see everything in my life proving it to me. If I tell myself that I'm not, this is a big one, especially as ready for this, a young minister. In this movement, I'm quite young. Telling me that I'm not seasoned enough. Trust me, I got seasoning. Our life can show up as many things, and one of the most detrimental things that it can show up as is the result of the opinions of others. Our life can show up as many things, and one of the most detrimental things it can show up as is rooted in the opinions of others. But I want to acknowledge that those opinions are showing up most likely as reflections of your inner life. They are reflections of something happening within you. So it's not about shutting down the opinion. It's about going and being willing to go on the journey of deep exploration to open up our level of awareness to the point where that opinion shifts itself, or that person removes themselves from our lives because their opinion cannot be upheld by our own sense of self. That's what it is to live authentically from the point of view of being love. But how deeply do we choose to believe the opinions of others and continue to live in this cycle of upholding the opinions of others, which then allows me to say, yes, I have this opinion because this person gave me their opinion, and it becomes this cycle. And until we break the cycle, we will not ever lift ourselves up out of the muck that we created in the first place. I have had the experience of letting those things, those opinions, become purity tests. Oh, no. And in those tests, I have to prove to myself my value. Why? If I know who I am, if I remember who I am, there is nothing to prove to anyone else or to myself. But we can keep allowing those purity tests to show up in our lives, to keep us from fully participating in our life. And those tests are tests like, are you smart enough? Are you spiritual enough? Are you old enough? Are you young enough? Those are all purity tests. And the minute we allow ourselves to let go of the idea that those purity tests have any bearing on our well-being, we have taken a step into being the authentic expression of love. Any question that challenges your value might be a purity test that you have embodied. Just check in. See what tests come up throughout the day. See what happens for yourself. Ask yourself the question, what are the purity tests I have embodied that are keeping me from living fully? Now, there may not be an immediate answer, because sometimes they're very well disguised. They're very well disguised. But if you have a willingness to open up and let your mind have a journey of exploration, you'll find the answer. I believe that. I believe that. What do you believe? The wholeness of God is available at all times because it can never not be whole. So right where we are, there is no diminishing, there is no lack of God essence, there is no lack of creative source, there is no lack of love. The wholeness is right here where each and every one of us is. Yet we are really adept at limiting ourselves. So in what way might it be limited? In what way might God be limited by the tests we apply to our lives? Anytime we accept those purity tests as necessary to our value, we diminish our light. It's all it will ever do. It will just diminish the light. Our work is to show up authentically and allow others, here we go. Our work is to show up authentically and allow others to do the same, free of judgment. Free of judgment. You gotta let it go. You gotta let that judgment go. The question now can be turned around. That question about purity tests, it can be turned around. What are the purity tests we require of others to let them participate in our lives? That's an important thing to look at. Are we holding other people to a standard that is outside of the realm of understanding them as love and light? Period. End of sentence. Full stop. To what degree do we diminish others in our own minds because they don't meet our expectations? They aren't wise enough. They aren't attractive enough. They aren't spiritual enough. They aren't seasoned enough. Something to look at in our interactions are those questions that we ask, are those opinions that we carry, and are they rooted in spiritual truth? There's only one spiritual truth as far as I'm concerned, love. And we are the point of loving expression. Great master teachers have all said, we do not derive love from outside the self. We project the love and see it reflected back to us, but it begins with projecting the love that we inherently are. Is it possible that those questions that we have of others are actually the questions we have of ourselves? And that's the exploration. Do you have the tenacity to show up as you are in every part of your life authentically? And what does that look like? Let go of the opinions of others. Go back to that very first day, a day when we were at peace, preceding our physical childhood, when we were part of the essence of wholeness, before we had physical expression. Go back to the first cause of your life. Go back to the initial vibration. The initial vibration is love. The initial vibration is love. The first cause is love. Go back to the time before we allowed the effects to determine the course of our lives and expression. Lao Tzu had this to say in this regard: care about what other people think and you will always be their prisoner. Let go and know who you are. A shining light on a hill whose brilliance shouldn't ever be diminished. Remember who you are, celebrate who you are. Every day in life, live your initial vibration. Peace and blessings. You are magnificent. I hope you enjoy today's home practice. I kind of hinted at it earlier. I would like for all of us to find time for play this week. Yes. Do something fun that invites you into the memory of that very first day, the initial vibration of your being. Go out and play this week. Find something that is playful and fun that taps into your childlike wonder, which is rooted in love. And here's the thing, if you find yourself challenged to play, ask yourself why and find the answer. Find the answer. And then determine if that answer holds up, because I'm betting that it probably won't. And so you can let that answer go and play. That's the home practice this week. I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are. Check in and see if there's anything that has resonated with you in such a way that it is the idea you will choose to carry with you from this room and into the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Let us allow ourselves to breathe, to allow ease, to allow grace, and to drop down into the truth of our being.
I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. Right here in this moment, I am rooted in the assured awareness that there is only one infinite power and presence. I take this into this time of prayer. Rooted in this feeling, rooted in this understanding, rooted in this embodiment, I hold firm in faith that God is all there is. It is the I am that I am of all creation, and we are, each and every one of us, part of that wholeness. There is no separation. There is only the magnificence of divine source energy flowing forth into expression at all times. God is infinite, and we are part of that infinite wholeness, facets of that infinite wholeness. The wholeness of us is this divine power. And so I know that this is the truth. I hold firm in my faith that we are empowered in this moment to go back to that very first day, to that very first impulse of creation, to the very first impulse of love, and allow it to be the informing factor of every aspect of our lives. I let go of the notion that anything outside the self has any bearing on who I choose to understand myself to be and understand all of creation to be, except to the degree that I allow it. And I let go of those things which are detrimental. I let go of those things which no longer hold up to love. I trust in love. I let love be the core. And I choose to go on the journey of wonder, allowing childlike wonder to take hold, unfold, and be the point from which all flows forth into expression. It is with gratitude and appreciation overflowing from within that I simply let this be. I relax, I trust, I know, and affirm this as so by saying, and so it is. Amen. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love,
In the sense of the sacred, knowing that the experience of circulation is a sacred experience, I invite you to take what it is you're offering as a supportive contribution to this community. Hold it in your hand if you would, please. If it's a form of cash, check, if it's one of the cards that indicates you give through electronic means, whether you give in the bookstore or through one of these various methods, or you're an automated contributor, hold it in your hand, please. As we allow the experience of giving to be a sacred practice, recognize the love you hold in your hand and that it is moving through this place, through this time, through this experience, purposefully, and allows us to do magnificent things. Not just Unity of Tucson, but as it circulates throughout the entire world, we are empowering the entire world perfectly through God in action. This is God in action, so I allow that to be my understanding. And as the baskets go around, we're going to sing our I'm So Grateful song. We're bringing that one back. If you feel like you want to move your body, feel free to move your body.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Once again, gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm grateful, I'm so 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 grateful.
And I am indeed grateful for the presence of Laura Cass, our lead prayer chaplain, who is here to guide us in the blessing of the offering.
Whoa, I love that song. All right. Together, we are grateful, and we are grateful for what is being brought forth here today. Together, we bless these gifts, and we see these gifts going out and blessing our community and the world. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's find out what's happening here at Unity of Tucson.
It's Sunday, August 4th, 2024, and here's what's happening at Unity of Tucson. Have you secured your tickets for the most anticipated event of the year? The Beyond Horizons Ball, Unity of Tucson's 2024 Gala, is happening on Sunday, November 3rd. Join us at the prestigious Skyline Country Club. The night kicks off with a lively social hour and an exciting silent auction, followed by a decadent dinner and a night of dancing that you won't want to miss. It's not just an event, it's an experience. Grab your tickets now for an extraordinary annual celebration at the Desert Light Book and Gift Store. We're inviting you to shine as a sponsor of the Beyond Horizons Ball at the $1,000, $2,500, and $5,000 levels. Our honored sponsors not only support our unforgettable annual gala, but also ensure the future of our vibrant spiritual community. You can make a significant impact. Reach out to your administrative team today to sponsor the gala, and thank you for supporting Unity of Tucson. Join us for our mid-year town hall meeting right after the service on August 25th. It's a great chance to learn more about our community's progress this year and the wonderful things we have envisioned for the coming months. You'll also have an opportunity to ask questions and get answers directly from Dr. Jonathan and the Board of Directors. Your participation and feedback are vital to our continued growth and success. Don't miss this important gathering. We look forward to seeing you there. Save the date. On September 8th at 2 p.m., Unity of Tucson and Center for Spiritual Living Tucson will co-present a concert by Celia Farron, a self-described badass, bardess, redheaded Capricorn force of nature. She will entertain and serve up the most delicious concoction of the silly and the sacred right here at Unity of Tucson. Tickets go on sale soon. It's tacos and trivia time here at Unity of Tucson on Saturday, September 21st. There's a planning meeting today in room 3 of the annex at 11:30 a.m. for anyone interested in helping make this fundraiser a night no one will want to miss. Don't forget to join us following today's celebration for our monthly potluck. Enjoy great food, wonderful company, and a joyful community celebration. You can find out more about all of our events, classes, and other ways to get involved in your spiritual community by visiting the Desert Light Book and Gift Store or online at unitytucson.com. Have a magnificent week.
Glorious. Yes, thank you so much. I want to let you know, too, Sophia gathered yesterday. Sophia is Sisters of Faith in Action. It is our women's and female-identified group here at Unity of Tucson. And their recent action in the world, as they are Sisters of Faith in Action, was to do the Socks Box Drive. And they gathered together yesterday to pull everything together that has been collected so far. They packed 170 pairs of underwear, filled 4 backpacks, 2 for boys and 2 for girls. They did collect 270 pairs of socks, and they collected 24 backpacks and undershirts and clothes. It's all going to be delivered to the TUSD Clothing Bank next week. If you want to bring something into the office, we can still make sure that it gets put into the package because Carol's going to take it a little bit later this week. And I want to give my heartfelt gratitude to Sophia, to Carol Withy, and to everyone who participated in this. If you were part of that celebration, if you're a part of that, will you please stand up to be recognized or raise your hand and be recognized? Thank you so very much. What a gift you are, and what a gift you are sharing. And here to tell us about what happened with, sorry, I forgot one thing. It's birthday and anniversary Sunday. Yes. And so, if you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, you may have been invited to fill out a ballot as you were coming in today. If you didn't fill out your ballot, you can fill it out quickly at the completion of the celebration today to help us make a determination around where a portion of our contribution, our financial contribution to the world, will go in the next month. And so, if you're celebrating, we would like to honor you by singing happy birthday to you. We don't have an anniversary song yet. We'll figure that out. But if you're celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, would you please either raise your hand or stand up in whatever way that you can? Grateful, grateful, grateful. Great to see you. Let's sing happy birthday, shall we?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
I figured it out. We can get to that portion of the song where we go, happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy everything to you. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Here to tell us about what's happening in our youth program today, please welcome our Youth and Family Ministries Manager, Dee. Hi, Dee.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm covered in glue, so that's a sign it's a great day. Mm-hmm. We made dragons because Joshua will demonstrate. So when we take a deep breath in and we breathe out like a dragon, so as we go to school and as we go to work, all of you in life, we take deep breaths in and then we breathe out fully, and a dragon reminds us of that. And it regulates our nervous system, which they don't quite get that yet, but we're going to get there. We start early, right? And as they grow up, they'll remember all of this. So thank you, Joshua. You're the best.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And thank you to everybody. Yes. Thank you to everybody who made today's celebration so extraordinary. I want to say thank you to our keepers of the flames, Mary Alls and Laura Cass. Thank you for guiding us in the Flames of Faith ceremony. And thank you to Laura for guiding us in meditation and the blessing of the offering this glorious day. Let's hear it for Reverend William Gill guiding us with the reading and the affirmation and in prayer. Reverend William and Laura will be available at the completion of service today. If you would like a moment of prayer from them, they will remain here in the sanctuary. You can seek them out, and they are delighted to be able to pray with you. Other ways that you can engage in our prayer ministry here, you can submit your prayer intention by writing it out on a prayer intention form and putting it into the box, which is in the lobby. You can also send an email to prayer@unitytucson.com, or you can go to our website, unitytucson.com. There's a form where you can fill out prayer intentions there. There are lots of ways you can get prayer here, so please utilize our prayer team here. I want to say thank you to our hospitality team, Mark and Don, and everyone who puts hospitality together. And today is Potluck Sunday, so please stick around. Go enjoy the potluck. Even if you didn't bring something, go enjoy the food. There's always plenty of food to share, so please join us following the celebration today. I want to say thank you to our technical team, Siraj and Rowan and Aiden and Tyler back there. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to give a shout out to additional members of our technical team who don't always get shout outs, but I want to say thank you to Sherry and also to Don Zenz, my father back there. Let's hear it for this extraordinary music team, Linda and Raphael and Paul. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for making your presence known here. As I often say, it's not about making your presence known here at Unity. It's about making your presence known in the world. And I am so grateful that you're shining your light. Keep doing that. As we complete our time, I invite us all to share together this prayer of divine awareness, which will lead us into the final song. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen.
One of my favorite songs. Let me have another go at that. Here we go. 2, 3. I had a dream so big and loud. I jumped so high, I touched the clouds. Whoa, oh. I stretched my hands out to the sky and danced with monsters through the night. Whoa, oh. I'm never gonna look back. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't wake me now. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. I howled at the moon with friends, and then the sun came crashing in. Whoa, oh. Possibilities, no limits, just epiphanies. Whoa, oh. I'm never gonna look back. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't wake me now. Ooh, this is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. Calling outside my window, I feel it in my soul. The stars were burning so bright, the sun was out till midnight. I say we lose control. This is gonna be the best day of my life. Best day of my life, my life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. Everybody's all right, everybody up now. This is gonna be the best day of my life, my life. everyone.